Into the Pit shakes up FNAF in a major way by bringing a retro pixel game style twist to the series. But is it any good? What does it even mean for the future of the series? Let's find out if this risk pays off, because as we all know, taking risks is hard, and so is my Thanks to Megacat Studios for sending me a review copy. Into the Pit takes an old school pixelated approach to the graphics and adds modern touches to it. Because of this, I'm out here thinking like, why is this game taking so long to release on consoles when a busted ass mid-range phone from 5 years ago can probably run this thing with no issues. No performance problems or hiccups, and the game can be played on very low-end devices as well, which is always a plus in my books. These visuals lend a very nostalgic and retro vibe to the game, which makes a lot of sense when paired up with the narrative. Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit is based on the first chapter of the book of the same name, and it revolves around a boy named Oswald. The game begins with Oswald being taken to Jeff's pizzeria by his dad. In the pizzeria, Oswald hears about a secret abandoned ball pit somewhere in the place. Now, being the nosy little bastard that he is, Oswald manages to find the ball pit and jumps in it. But when he comes out, the pizzeria is completely different. Here we also get our first look at the animatronics. Oswald, being the naive little child he is, doesn't pay much attention to this and starts playing hide and seek with two boys. He walks into a room with a Freddy Fazbear suit with a calendar next to it, and the year on it is 1985. Then out of nowhere he hears footsteps approaching, so he hides in the suit, unaware of the fact that shit is about to go down. Boom, the animatronics start wreaking havoc. You try to escape, and just when you think you're safe, it's him, the goofy song guy. Aw, hell nah, man. Why does this game want me to go with him? Well, this is why you should never listen to furries. After running like there's no tomorrow, Oswald manages to escape through the ball pit into his original timeline again. There he finds his dad, and as he starts roasting his son's stupid ass, Freddy does the Wolverine jump scare and drags him into the ball pit. Oswald shows the pull-out game his dad never had and manages to pull him out. Or so it seems, because it turns out the person he pulled out is not his dad, but Freddy disguised as him. Now, Oswald, being the only one who can see through this disguise, leaves him in a situation where he has to find his real dad while also having to live with a furry monster inside his own house. The rest is up to you to find out, and I won't spoil anything major. You know, I've always been a sucker for short, tightly paced games that have less filler, and Into the Pit hits that particular spot of my monkey brain. It is a very faithful adaptation of what's written in the book. The game goes all in with the retro 80s aesthetic and tone, with lots of Easter eggs and references. Like, the characters you meet can be hilarious at times. Although I like the music of Security Breach more, the music here is also absolutely banging. The cutscenes also always maintain the art style, looking like a 2D animation, and are kinda better at being creepier this way. Of course, you have the fun little fan service trophies and multiple endings as well, 5 of them to be exact. At first I thought the time travel thing will be shoehorned in, but they actually paid thought to it and integrated it pretty well with the gameplay. It's basically the same FNAF formula where you're kinda solving puzzles by gathering and using appropriate items while also trying not to get caught by demon robots, but this time in a 2.5D setting. You also have to do some mini games in and out of hiding, which are alright, I guess. Like, they depend more on the overall tension of the situation rather than the actual gameplay mechanics. You get to play across both timelines, since you can obtain various items in one timeline which can help you progress in another. This concept is used sparingly enough, and since this is only around a 5-hour game, it never lost its novelty. Interacting with other characters and finding some optional objects also gives you some backstory and character development, so exploration is rewarded. The way things connect and start making sense across two timelines is very entertaining to unfold. Stop! It's not all rainbows and sunshine, because on the very first day of the story, my game broke. This is not a spoiler, I'm just gonna vaguely mention something that you have to do very early on in the game. So you have to obtain this cell phone, but when I did that and the game asked me to open the inventory to use it, I couldn't do anything. You can also see me switching between controller and keyboard and mouse on the screen, but nothing worked. When I finally managed to get out of the menus by using Ctrl-Alt-Delete, the trouble still wasn't over yet. After doing this, I couldn't even open the menus in the game, therefore now I couldn't progress. So I had to die on purpose and restart the game to fix this. My god, this was annoying as hell because I had to recollect everything I had all over again. This BS never happened again and has probably been fixed with the various patches since launch, but yeah, it was definitely worth mentioning. Coming back, the game takes place across 5 main locations and you get to witness the toll this situation is taking on this little boy. Find the kid with the firecracker. Oh hell, now we gotta go save that boy's innocence right now. It's fun to see him grow a pair and actually do something to help people during the course of the story rather than just surviving by dumb luck all the time. Hey yo, I'm right here, do something, I dare you mother. For the first time in a very long time, some of the horror in Five Nights at Freddy's actually worked for me. You have a sound meter and the main way to tell if the crazy furries are near is to pay attention to the corners of the screen. This 2.5D approach kinda puts the player at even more of a disadvantage and also enhances that feeling of fear of the unknown. Don't get me wrong, I still think that this game is also kind of over-reliant on jump scares, but like the first few jump scares actually did catch me off guard, which if you have been here for a while, you know how rare that is for my goofy ass. But my main problem with Into the Pit is the lack of voice acting, and man, you really do feel its absence even more if you're coming here from Security Breach. The only voices you get to hear are like crying or scared gasps or something. There is an argument to be made here that, ooh, you see, not being able to hear any dialogue enhances the horror. No, it doesn't. Shut up, nerd. All it does is make you want to skip the non-horror character interactions completely because nobody wants to read this much in a game. Overall though, I do think that it's a good thing that this game is different. I was genuinely so desensitized to these games and their cheap style of horror, which seemed like it was created specifically for some fake-ass YouTuber reactions. But this game to me was FNAF at its best and scariest that it has been in years. In fact, I think that the studio might have accidentally stumbled onto the perfect place for creating more spin-off games off of the other books. We could have smaller teams working on these short spin-off games while the studio takes a long time cooking another mainline entry to the series. Implement some stuff from the other games like voice acting, and we may have a winning formula for the next few games. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.